This video is designed to provide guidance to anyone considering applying to Northeast SARE's Research and Education Grant Program. Hi, my name is Heather Omand, and I'm the Associate Director of Northeast SARE. In that role, I'm also the Grant Coordinator for the Research and Education Grant Program. Before I came to Northeast SARE, I worked with farmers on business, market, and whole farm planning. Doing that work, I was exposed to the incredible innovation and practical knowledge that I saw expressed in unique ways on every farm I visited. I love working with this grant program because farmer engagement, leadership, and education are the core components. So the Research and Education Grant Program is designed explicitly to directly benefit farmers. There is $2,250,000 allocated in total funding to this grant program for the 2022 to 2023 cycle. Funded projects are typically in the $30,000 to $250,000 range, depending on a project's complexity and duration. Research and education projects typically last 2 to 3 years. We often receive around 70 pre-proposals for this grant program, of which half will be invited to submit full proposals. Of those that do submit full proposals, around 30% will be funded, often 10 to 15 total projects. All typical success rates in any of our videos are based on historical numbers of submissions and could change if the number of submissions changes. The core focus of a strong research and education proposal is farmer adoption and behavior change that leads to greater sustainability. Thus, education that brings about behavior change is the only required component, and we fund many strong research and education proposals with and without research components. A strong research and education proposal that includes research will make it clear that the education plan can stand on its own, regardless of the outcome of the research. So the achievement of the performance target cannot depend on research results. Research, when included, is clearly related to the education plan and would create new information that could be incorporated into that plan. One tip I can offer applicants is to pay attention to the review criteria that's included in the call for proposals when applying to any Northeast SARE grant program. Try on a reviewer's mindset. Does this project seem grounded in Northeast SARE's outcome statement? Does the proposal clearly respond to the question and review criteria? So this slide includes several examples of performance targets from successful funded research and education proposals. The easiest way to think about a performance target is the best possible outcome if everything in your project goes to plan. It should clearly relate to the statement of need in your proposal, and it guides the development of your educational activities. Performance targets for this program should include 4 components. The first component is the number of farmers. So in the first example on this slide, you can see 100 farmers. The second component of a performance target is the specific change or new practice that those farmers will adopt. So 100 farmers will adopt the use of integrative parasite control on their farms. The third component of a performance target is the extent of farmer adoption. So in this example, adoptions of these techniques will be utilized in 2,000 or more sheep and/or goats. And then finally, the fourth component is the measurable benefit to farmers who adopt this new practice or change. So again, from this example, farmers will save an estimated $28 per head in reduced chemical dewormer usage. All performance targets must include these 4 components, and they should be as specific as possible. A performance target is not a guarantee, and we at Northeast SARE understand it's not a guarantee. It is realistic and ambitious. The scope of impact entirely depends on what is reasonable and appropriate to your project. Remember, if you're invited to submit a full proposal, you will need to clearly outline how you will verify and document each of the 4 components of the performance target. If funded, you're going to be asked to report against each of those components as well. So some tips on how to write a strong performance target. The key here is really that ambitious and realistic. Reviewers seriously consider the scope of impact and whether applicants have fully considered the quality of impact and what is realistically possible. It's not all about the numbers. This can vary significantly depending on the type of project. Sometimes 20 farmers and a total of 5 acres is ambitious and realistic, like with urban agriculture, or in the third example on this slide. And sometimes 100 farmers and 2,000 acres is more appropriate, for example, with agronomic crops. There is no one size fits all with performance targets. I'm going to finish by sharing a really strong example of a research and education proposal and project. And this project is called Teaching Black Farmers in Baltimore City to Grow Ethnic Crops for Black Communities. It's led by Denzel Mitchell at the Farm Alliance Baltimore. This project created a training program for beginning Black farmers in Maryland. They utilize classroom learning, field day instruction, and farmer-to-farmer mentorship. They focused on producing locally relevant crops and developing markets with Black business owners. The project leaders leveraged partnerships at both the University of Maryland and in local city governments. So why was this a strong proposal and then a strong project? Well, there was well-documented, strong farmer engagement in the project design and implementation. There was clear evidence throughout the proposal that the organization and project team are embedded in and understand the community of farmers they work with. And the team included and compensated leadership from that community. There was a strong educational approach that utilized a diversity of activities, including classroom time with readings, videos, and guest farmer speakers, hands-on field days with transportation provided, farmer-to-farmer mentorship where all parties were compensated for time and expenses, one-to-one coaching from the project team, and additional opportunities for practicing new farming techniques in the field. Reviewers felt the performance target was specific, verifiable, realistic, and yet ambitious. It was well grounded in the statement of need, and the educational plan was clearly designed to lead to the performance target, that crucial outcome. Reviewers felt the education plan could proceed and enhance sustainable agriculture in the Northeast, regardless of the research outcomes. And the research was well designed to complement the education plan as both an effort to develop enterprise budgets for culturally relevant crops and as an in-depth assessment of the impact of the program on food sovereignty in the community. Both farmers and community members are and will be engaged in the research design and efforts. So those are some strong components of a research and education proposal. Thanks for listening. If questions come up after today, please feel free to reach out via email to me, Heather Omand, at heather.omand@uvm.edu. Thanks so much.